Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 24 of the Crystal Chronicles. This is being recorded on August 3rd, 2016, and I am your host, Ben, today, and I am joined here by Mark.
Hey, guys. Hey, Ben. Or just, hey, Ben. And hey, everybody listening and those joining us on Twitch.
Something's missing.
I think it's a Frenchman.
Well, we could do without him. So, how have you been this week?
I am super. Been getting my greens, doubling up.
Oh, yeah, I've been rushing. Isn't tonight the last chance to get the 4-star motes?
I think we're officially done with 4-star motes as of right now.
Oh, I can still get them. Let me get a vitality mote.
Maybe I am wrong, but
I've been slacking.
I think as we record tonight, yes,
aren't they closed at midnight though?
Oh, maybe it is midnight.
So if you were listening to this,
it is. Yes, it is.
If you're listening to this right now, you have 3 hours left to get those motes. Well, no, more so, because it's Pacific, so 6 hours.
6 hours, yes.
You have 6 hours to get 5 of each 4-star mote in the Gashal exchange. And you also have 4 hours to get 2 no longer unique weapons. The Celebration Blade, which was only available for the 10 million download extravaganza, and then the Royal Scepter, which was given out very recently. But 8,000 greens for pretty much a Rosetta Stone. Not too bad.
Yeah, or a decent 6-star generic relic for Final Fantasy X, I guess.
Yeah, so I have no problems with synergy in that realm.
Yeah,
so.
No, me neither. I did buy both of them, so
yeah. Those will go great when I fuse them with my Razzmatazz.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. I will say something interesting enough about those 4-star motes that we got. Apparently, Japan has never had 4-star motes in the Fat Chocobo shop. So
let's hope they keep giving them to us,
Yeah, I don't know if that's a one-time thing, if that was just with the double green thing. But yeah, let's hope.
Hopefully, it's
let's hope they keep going, and yeah. And we also got more motes in the Mote dungeon than Japan did originally, too. So
yeah. And once again, we have the 20 of each 3-star motes available in the Gashal exchange. I am not going to grind those out again. Now that they're readily available in the bonus battles, I no longer feel the need to rush and get those motes.
I already picked them up.
Nice, dude.
Couldn't help myself.
And as for the weekly item shift, we have a major power orb, major non-elemental orb, and a major wind orb, and that lovely mithril. Wait, no. Yes. What?
Yep.
Yes.
That's
like weird, because there's like the mithril that's for this week, and then there's the 3-star motes, and all the orbs. It's just weirdly ordered.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
so I'm up to over 100 of each of the 3-star motes. So,
jeez, have you used any?
No, I have not.
Okay. I was gonna say, it's like, and I've already maxed out every single character.
Like, I keep thinking like, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that, and then I don't do anything. So, yeah.
Well. From the sound of your team, it sounds like you should hold out for Paladin Cecil's spear to get on.
Definitely.
I mean, I've been pumping motes rather into Titus, Bartz, and Sabin. Sabin's kind of the odd one out, even though he doesn't have a burst soul break. I have tons of good relics for him.
But, you have enough regular soul breaks for somebody, or they're going to be useful.
Yeah, definitely. So, last week we covered the 4 intro dungeons to the support nightmare, But now let's take a look at the big boss, CPU.
Yes, the CPU. Yes, thank you for a good show last week. I enjoyed listening to it. I was at a rained out baseball game with work, so that was super awesome. Hey, had a hot dog, saw a couple of pitches, whatever. Yeah, so CPU is kind of a strange nightmare compared to the nightmares we've had in that.
Really?
Well, in that, in the previous nightmare dungeons, I've taken, 4 or 5 summoners or 4 or 5 black mages or all combat, getting the good
synergy. The battles are specifically tailored towards an all.
I tried to do this with 4 support characters. Unless you have some really awesome super soul breaks for your support characters that are high DPS, you really probably are going to take 2 characters.
I think that really speaks to the nature of support characters, is that you pair them with good characters to support them.
They need somebody to do damage. Yep.
Yeah, it'd be weird to be able to have a whole party with 5 support characters, because what are they supporting? Themselves?
Yeah, I tried. It didn't work out very well. So the CPU is accompanied by an attack node, and the attack node's on the top, and a defense node on the bottom. So my suggestion is 2 heavy damage dealers, 2 characters, and 1 dancer, and bring the dancer for multi-break.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a second. So phase 1, this is a 3-phase battle, and if you get to phase 3, you're dead. So phase 1, like many of the nightmares, starts with the CPU counting down to quadruple foul from 5. So you have 5 turns until he casts quadruple foul. You do not want him to do that. So how do you do that? How do you avoid that? How do you get to phase 2? You kill the attack node, you kill the defense nodes before that happens. You have to kill them very close together or they will respawn. Oh, someone says they did it with 5 supports. That's cool. Skillful Full Lime is going to have to give us his setup here in the Twitch chat of how he did it with 5 supports. Maybe he had some good DPS on his support characters. Anyway, just getting into the mechanics, and you can figure out how you do this. Is my phone not plugged in? It is. All right. It said I was low battery, but I'm plugged in here. So I must be playing too much Pokemon. So kill the attack node and the defense nodes really close together within 1 turn of each other. And hold actions on your power breakdown, your armor breakdown, and your multi-break characters. That should be 3 different characters, and it needs to be breakdowns, not breaks. Breaks are not strong enough. You need breakdowns or the 4-star equivalent to breakdowns. So you kill the attack node, you kill the defense node, you switch into phase 2. The attack node and the defense node respawn. The CPU restarts its countdown to quadruple foul to 10. So you have 10 turns to kill it before it hits quadruple foul. This time, however, the tricky nodes put up shields to defend the CPU. So the first time you get a red barrier and a red shield. And to dispel them, you need to hit the attack node with a power breakdown, the defense node with an armor breakdown, and then you immediately want to follow up with multi-break, the dancer 5-star ability, which will hit each of them. And that will not only lower those 2 shields, that will turn the attack and the defense node into an overheat mode, which the attack node starts attacking the CPU for 9,999 damage, and the defense node starts multi-healing you for your entire party for 1,500 HP. And that lasts about... Yep, so they're working for you.
So you're hacking the nodes and getting them on your side. That's cool, because then it's like the enemy is supporting you.
And do not hit them again, because then they will blow up. And when they blow up, it's not very good. So it does damage to the CPU, but then you hit into phase 3. So you don't want to do that. So that's why you do that's why you do the multi-break. It hits both of them, so you can do one attack to hit both of them, and you're not doing damage, so that's good.
But you can potentially blow up the nodes as a last ditch attack. If there's just a little bit left.
If you needed to, right? Yeah, if you needed to, that would be an option. So that's the first part of phase 2. Then you focus. You have 2 turns of the nodes being overheated. You focus all of your DPS, all of your damage on the CPU. Get it down as much as possible. The nodes will recover after a couple turns, and then they will put up a purple shield and a purple barrier. Now, if you don't do anything in the first part of that, they will do all 4, red, red, purple, purple. That's not good at all. So that's why you get the red ones down quick. They start working for you. You attack the CPU. Then the purple ones come up for the purple barrier and the purple node. You do magic breakdown against the attack node. You do mental breakdown against the defense node. Immediately multi-break. Then they start working for you. They're damaging the CPU. They're healing you. And hopefully by the next 2 turns, you finished off the CPU. Because you're going to run out of that 10 timer and you're going to go into phase 3 where it hits globe 199 and basically kills your party pretty quickly, one by one. So that's the basic strategy. Bring 2 really good DPS characters, bring 2 support characters, one with power breakdown, one with magic breakdown, one with armor breakdown and mental breakdown. And I think I brought Tyro with multi-break, and I don't know if he had healing or something else. I'd have to look back into my notes to see what I brought, but I had Sentinel Grimoire as well on Tyro, and I used Shout as well. So you're going to have to customize that. But the structure is the same. So within that structure, you kind of have to figure out what you have and what you can bring and all that kind of stuff. So very interesting to see Skills 5 support team. I think that'd be cool. Guessing that's a little dependent on your soul breaks and the power of your support characters. I just wasn't really doing enough DPS with the 4 support characters or 5 support characters counting Tyro.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. So
yeah. And you still have some time to clear the Nightmare Dungeons, folks. For me, I've been catching up, actually, making sure that I can get all the 6-star armlets.
Oh, yes.
But, you still have 5 more days to clear out any Nightmare Dungeons.
And after completing this Nightmare Dungeon and the first 5 Nightmare Dungeons, we actually have enough crystals, 6-star crystals, to complete Crushdown.
Wow.
So if I go, if you want to see it here.
You're taking around 4 months to finally use it. Must be amazing, right?
It's been here we go. It's been 5 months. Look it on the screen. Crushdown. Oh wait, here we go. Let me see if I can make it. Yes, I have enough. I can make it for only 200,000 gil, and all of those power crystals, fire crystals, earth crystals deal 2 physical attacks to all targets with a high chance to instantly KO.
It's almost as good as a default. Not default. It's almost as good as a unique soul break.
It's almost as good as full break, except it's not. So I will not be making that. And so that's the one you can make if you have all the crystals thus far. Oh, here Skill is sharing what he did here. I had Ferris with Kinder Spirit, with Dismissal and Thief's Raid. Yep, Thief's Raid is a good call. Waka with all of his soul breaks. Waka has some good damaging soul breaks. Tyro with Curaja. His BSB, very nice. And multi-break. Irving with Canister Shot. I used Irving with Canister Shot as well. Ramza with Shout and Tailwind and Life Siphon and Full Break.
Oh, yeah. Had some help there.
So I agree. I think you could probably do that with that setup. Very well. Very good. Very good team. Had a Soul Gauge boosting record materia. Record Roaming Warrior was Stone Skin too. So very good Skill. Very cool team you got set up there. I wish I had that. I don't. Your support characters are much better than mine. Yeah, I have no Super Soul Break support characters. Not damaging once at least. If I do, I guess I have Quistis, Quissy. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Still feel like.
On to the other one, yeah?
Yeah. Let's move on to the dungeon that is. People are getting there, you know? They're being like, they're struggling through it. This Mote dungeon, which we talked about, which Pierre and I despaired about last week, but we really didn't get down to the nitty-gritty. I think we just talked about Ifrit's attacks.
Look
looks hard.
Look upon Ifrit and despair. Yeah, I like that comment you guys made last week about, think if this was how difficult Ifrit was in the original game.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
Yeah. So, yes, Ifrit Mote Dungeon, or Mote Ifrit, easily the most difficult boss we have faced. That is because his defense and resistance is a staggering 3,800, and that's 1,000 more than any of the Ultimate Plus bosses we've ever faced. So normally, you 2,800, 2,400 defense and resistance. No, Ifrit says, you know what? 3,800 defense, 3,800 resistance. Suck it, characters. Thankfully, I mean, that's just rough. I don't. And apparently it gets much easier. He's considered one of the strongest even to date. Strongest bosses we've ever faced. So if you can beat him, you're feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah, you're at the optimal top percentage of players right now.
So he is weak to the ice element, which is your only saving grace and your greatest advantage. I was able to beat it without Sentinel Grimoire, but I brought pretty much all of the other mitigation. Including your fire resistance, and I think you talked about that last week. Oh, yeah. Pretty much everybody on your team needs to have fire resistant accessory on. Yeah. And obviously moderate or greater major. We have one major and then a lot of moderates. So yeah. I will say Rinoa's Burst Soulbreak is a great roaming warrior. That Burst Soulbreak, well, if you have it, it's great for this. It's like tailor-made for this dungeon. Pretty much all of the things on that banner were like ice anyway, but Rinoa's Burst gave you not only an ice attack, but it gave you an ice burst ability, and she pretty much becomes your main damage dealer if you have some decent synergy gear and you have the ability to bring that with you. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to go through normal team creation. I was able to complete and master it with a Cid team. So yeah. I'm going to tell you what my Cid team was, and hopefully if you're listening and haven't defeated this, if you have better pieces than my Cid team, you should be able to beat this. So, if I was able to piece together my Cid team, which is really good for Final Fantasy VIII, this may be my strongest, or at least my second strongest Cid team. I think Final Fantasy IV is probably my strongest, but this is probably my second strongest. That being said, I don't have Sentinel Grimoire. I don't have all the other cool Burst Soul Breaks, Super Soul Breaks to the degree that I have on my A team. So, my entire team was level 80. Okay, don't go into a level difficulty 255 boss with level 50 characters and think, why am I not winning? Well, level up your characters. That's why.
Yeah, it's a big gap.
Probably, maybe you can do it with level 65, but, hey, this is endgame. This is endgame material, so, treat it like that. So level 80, all of them were equipped with synergy gear. Let me repeat that. My entire team had synergy weapons and synergy armor and fire-resistant accessories. So, I'm not, I was doing with low synergy. No, I was doing it with crazy synergy. Everybody had, I had like 3, 4, 6 star, a couple 7 star, there was crazy synergy. That's how you do this. But again, you got better characters, you got better soul breaks, you should be okay. Squall had Armor Break and Blizzaga Strike. And Squall has he has a BSB. Unfortunately, it does not do ice damage. And it is an AoE attack, so it's not a great DPS. Renoa had Faith and Blizzaga. Renoa also has a Super Soul Break on my team. Irving had Full Break and Magic Breakdown, and his Canister Shot, which I believe lowers attack and defense. Quistis had Power Breakdown and Mental Breakdown, so you just saw I have Armor Strike, Full Break, a Breakdown with attack and defense, Magic Breakdown, Power Breakdown, and Mental Breakdown. So pretty much I brought all of the mitigation I possibly could. I also have Mighty Guard 8, so I had Shell, Regen, and Hastaga on my team.
Nice.
Selfie had Curaja and Protetka, so I got, Squall's OSB is ice. Yeah, that will be real nice in the future when you have that. Then it's not going to be a problem for you at all. That's for sure. So, so I had Protetka, I had Shelga, and I had all the breakdowns and all the mitigation possible, and haste. No Sentinel Grimoire. And Selfie just had a regular Medica. I brought Renoa's BSB as my roaming warrior, and I used it on Renoa. So I immediately used it on her, or I may have faithed up first and then used it. Although I did not look, and I have not looked since, and so I apologize. The boost she gets from the BSB may negate faith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So faith increases magic, but there's some potential that faith increases it more than the BSB did. So I'm not 100%. I did not look that up. I didn't think about it till afterwards, and I have not gone back to change that. So faith might be unnecessary. Either way, I used that on Renoa, and she was pretty much my damage dealer for the entire fight. There's really no weak phases. You pretty much just have to kill him and keep killing him and kill him till he's dead.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Squall was kind of the secondary DPS, and Quintus and Irving were mitigating damage. Selfie was healing. And I was able to master this. I lost 2 medals for damage taken. And, of course, I completed the Cid mission. So if you have pieces that are better than that, I think you're probably going to be okay. If you want to see in terms of weapons and stuff, actually what I had for comparison, you're like, well, I tried this and then I failed. Well, okay, I have some pretty good weapons here. So Squall has a 6-star sword, has a 7-star jacket. Renoa has a 7-star thrown magical weapon and Edia's 5-star helm. Irving has a 6-star gun and 5-star jacket. Quintus has a 5-star attack whip and a 5-star armor. Selfie has a 6-star mace and a 6-star hat. So, obviously synergy was pretty good. But
looks like that.
Again, 255 difficulty. It's not going to be easy. So,
No way.
but it is possible, and it is possible with a Cid mission. And that's how I did it. You can go online and see how 500 other people did it.
Yeah. Okay. So, finally moving on from old stuff, let's go to the new Final Fantasy V event, The Princess and the Pirate. It features no new characters, though it does give us Kurilu, Ferris, and X-Death's Memory Crystal 2. No new abilities.
Hooray!
Really, it's can you get every? No, you can get the main 4 as
Yes.
just characters. Then the main 4 is Memory Crystal.
Well,
2
you get
crystals.
4 of the 5 heroes.
Not a really notable event in new content. Obviously we'll look into the new relics later on, but
Yeah,
for now,
memory crystal 2s, I guess.
Yeah, let me look real quick. Let me look
Ferris.
at oh my days. I'm getting another. What is this?
Ferris, X-Death, and Creel, their memory crystal 2 are available, and so you can break their level cap. They also have new record materia. Ferris's second record materia is bow damage plus 20%. X-Death is a chance for darkness abilities to trigger twice, and Creel is trice. Crilly is begin with regen and bonus to magic. So yeah, I'm not sure that we'll have any other characters from Final Fantasy V. You know, I'm not.
They said they'll have. Or was that
I'd have to look in Japan and see.
Yeah. In Japan,
they make up.
There was like the wolf guy, and then Bart's father. Maybe.
Oh, Bart's father. Okay.
No, that was like. Yeah, we talked about that maybe last week.
We're scraping the barrel for Final Fantasy V.
You should just have like a featured jobber event.
Yeah.
Where you have General Leo, Bart's father, basically all the characters that just die off screen or before the story.
Joseph's memory crystal 2.
Joseph, yeah. That'd be great. So
we did get we did get some new record spheres.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even look at that. Who's on our unlocked? I don't really care because Bart's was unlocked from the start. Oh, Lena's and Ferris's. Let me look real quick. We see.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring them open here on the chat too, on the Twitch. It's not working right.
In her tier 2 spheres, you can get minor silence resistance, plus 6% white mage healing, which added on from her tier 1 white mage sphere will get you plus 3% white mage healing, obviously totaling 9%. Then minor sleep resistance. So no new abilities with Lena. She's a pretty dedicated white mage.
Yep, just a healer up.
But I mean, I like silence resistance on all mages, so that's pretty good to have innately. And then looking at
Ferris is very interesting.
Oh yeah,
Ferris is very interesting.
Like as a support, she has a wide variety of skills in her toolbox. If you go down the Gladiator path, you can get plus 3% bow damage. So that's nice if you have lots of her unique bows. If you go to the Cannoneer job class, which is funny because that was one of the unique classes in the Game Boy Advance version of Final Fantasy V, you can unlock 4-star mechanist abilities. So that's nice to be able to use all those shell.
Yep.
Poison shell, blind shell with her. And then if you go to the Beastmaster sphere, you can unlock 5-star dancer abilities, which that's pretty huge to be able to use multi-break. Is this like one of the first 5-star from nothing? Wait.
Quitus is.
No, she already has 4-star, but it can upgrade to 5-star. Okay.
Oh, she does have 4-star dancer?
She initially has 4-star dancer.
Tiny dancer. Huh.
Cool. That's pretty good to get dancer and mechanist. It's like a unique combo. So yeah, those are the new spheres. All right, let's finally move on to the bonus battles for this event. The plus battle, Castle X-Death. You first face off against Gilgamesh, then you face off against X-Death. Gilgamesh is pretty purely physical, so don't worry about that. But X-Death, well, pretty straightforward. Doesn't mean you don't have to worry. You got to reduce his attack. Obviously, something you would do anyway. He's weak to slow, and besides that, he only has around 120,000 HP. It's not that tough at all. And then moving on to X-Death. As we all know, he's more of a mage, so bring Shelga and, I guess, Protectka for Gilgamesh and X-Death, respectively. X-Death is weak to Holy and slow, so that's good to keep in mind. But you're going to need to reduce... No, never mind. But Holy is one of the medal goals. So that. Moving on 2, Death Valley. We fight off against Antlion. Weak to water. Don't use earth attacks. Are there even any earth attacks on the banner? I'm thinking because like, no, whatever. Don't use earth. You can blind him, which makes for an easy fight. He has below 200,000 HP, so that's not too bad. Watch out for gastric juice because it can't miss and gives you sap. Besides that, not really that much to talk about with this fight. Use Power Breakdown, use Protect, go. Now, we move on to Black Fork Tower, which you fight off against Omniscient. This fight's pretty cool, as you cannot use physical attacks. So you gotta bring a pure mage team, which if you look at your Final Fantasy 5 characters, you'll see, wait a minute, I can't bring all mages, because Lena, I guess you could bring those really handy 2-star black magic abilities.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And you have Kurilu and X-Death. So that's really all you got in terms of mages. So you're going to have to pitch in from other realms. I just used like Vivi and Terra and basically the most powerful mages. And Omniscient is as well as purely magical. So just bring Shelga in with one of your mages. You might want to bring Dispel because he uses. Wait, what? No, never mind. Wait, he begins the battle with regen, so use Dispel. That's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Dispel it if you feel like it. Otherwise, you could probably DPS him out.
No, you need to bring Dispel.
Oh, you need to?
Oh, wait. Am I thinking... Yeah, his regen is pretty serious. He gets a lot of HP back. So bring it to... And he starts with regen on, so...
Okay. I have that 13 robe with the shared Dispel Soulbreak. So I just used that and didn't think about it. So I guess if it's really as powerful as you say, definitely bring Dispel along.
Yeah. Yeah, start off with Dispel so you're not...
slow them for good measure. Yeah. Pretty fun fight. It's nice that they're throwing a curveball at us with an all-mage party.
Yeah, we have several gimmicky fights as Twitch is noticing this time around, and I have a topic to talk about that in a little bit. But yeah. So we have a few gimmicky fights, and both of our ultimate fights are kind of gimmicky. So let's get into those.
Yeah, let's get into the Guardian battles. Tree. It's one of those resistancy shifting fights.
Yeah, we fought Melusine before. She shifts. I don't know what's happening to her. It doesn't look good. She shifts elemental resistance and physical resistance, so she gets weakness to fire or weakness to ice, weakness to lightning, or weakness to physical attacks. And when she is weak to one element, she absorbs all the others, I believe, something like that. So it's a fairly annoying fight if you're not set up for it. Obviously, you need somebody with fire, somebody with lightning, somebody with ice, and somebody with a physical ability, which means kind of you're bringing a mixed party in this setup.
Yeah, definitely. I found, obviously, Bart's is really good with his Burst Soul Break, just because it's multi-element, and you can use that fire attack and not worry if it's going to shift, because it'll compensate because it's a multi-element attack. So that's nice. What other characters did you bring?
Well, let me go into, after we talk about just the basics, let me go into Cid Missions, and I'll tell you how I did as a Cid mission.
Yeah.
I did both of these as Cid Missions. Yeah. Yeah, so that brings us to Ultimate Plus, History Falls, and of course Leviathan. And Leviathan has a very similar mechanic to another turtle-like creature.
Oh yeah.
A certain archfiend. Cagnazzo, yes. And he generates some, how do they say it? He generates magic around him or water around him. And when that is gathering, you need to hit him 3 times with lightning attacks, or else he'll hit you with Tidal Wave. And Tidal Wave is not fun. He counters physical attacks potentially with Aqua Breath, which is an AoE water. Guess what? We only have really 1 water accessory. If we had all water accessories, that would be super awesome. And he is kind of a jerk. Yep, he's a big fat jerk. And yeah, so he has that. Although it's not as bad as Cagnazzo. Cagnazzo was much worse in terms of the randomness of his, doing that. I mean, Leviathan seemed to do it a little bit more consistently. Give you a few turns, then gather water, give you a few turns, then gather water. The only randomness was in that Aqua Breath if you're using physical attacks. And as you mentioned previously, if you're bringing a Cid team, you have to bring physical attacks because you don't have 5 mages to bring. So, yeah, if he counters every single physical attack with that AoE Aqua Breath, that's annoying. So,
yeah. So you need to worry about.
So well-honed lightning abilities. You can potentially get through with two characters using lightning because Leviathan's speed is very slow. But I would bring 3 just to be safe. 3 different characters with 3 different lightning abilities. And get ready maybe to do this fight a few times. I think I probably did it several times before I was able to beat it. So
I'll see if I want to go for this one. I don't think I could do a Cid team. Maybe with Lightning Super Soul Break because that's multi-hit lightning.
Yeah, but it may only count as 1. So like Rama,
I'll check it out.
Rama and the double hits only count as 1 use. So I'm not sure if that works for Super Soul Breaks or not. Probably. I think it did for Cagnazzo. So if you want to master this, you cannot let him do Tidal Wave. You have to hit him with lightning and reduce his magic. So
are there any burst soul breaks? Are there any burst soul breaks with lightning abilities?
What is Squall is fire and wind. Bart's is what? Fire and
wind, water, fire, and earth.
So he has that. 4 of them.
Yeah.
Oh no, he has wind, water, fire, and earth. He doesn't have lightning, right?
No.
Titus is water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of our lightning characters yet. I'd have to look and see who's coming up. I think we're missing some of the lightning. Barrett has a gun that allows him to envelop him in lightning, right? And so does lightning. Also has a very similar power.
Yeah. She
envelops with lightning. So
does
that may
count. Lightning element attack because I know
that may count if you're enveloped in lightning. That may be okay. Yeah. I do not have any of those powers to test that, but yeah, if you had any of those soul breaks, you may be able to empower yourself with lightning. So I was very concerned after Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IV, and Final Fantasy VIII Cid missions, our first 4 Cid missions, all of which I have excellent synergy for. I was a little worried that I may not be able to defeat this, the first of 3 events where I have very low synergy and very low soul breaks and not very good relics for my team. Even though I drew several 11 draws on that 1 BSB banner with 4 Final Fantasy V relics, I got none of them.
Ouch.
So I went into this with 1 Okay, technically 1.5. But I went in with one Final Fantasy V relic, and that is True Blade of Legend. Bart's is Super Soul Break. I do have Lena's original staff, the one that basically grants raise, but I'm never going to use. I'm never going to use a soul break that generates raise, so I just gave her a shared soul break. So let's go through the Cid mission part of this with our Final Fantasy, and I'll bring one of my Final Fantasy teams, 5 teams up here. I don't know which one this will be, but this may be for the last one so people can see on Twitch kind of what that looks like. Oh, this is for the Ultimate Plus, so we'll get into that. So there are only 7 playable characters from Final Fantasy V. Lena is your healer. Faris is your support. No other choices there. That leaves you with 5 characters, 3 physical, Bartz, Galoff, and Gilgamesh, and 2 mages, Exdeath and Creel, as your main damage dealers. Bartz can use Spellblade abilities, of course. Gilgamesh, 4-star Dragoon abilities and 5-star Knight abilities. Exdeath can use Darkness. So take advantage of your native soul breaks. Always taking advantage of your native soul breaks and what you have for your Cid missions. And you see a lot of regular 4-star plus weapons and my mighty 7-star Genji armor, right? So anyway. So if you've never completed a Cid mission, in this new generation of Team Cid missions, the plus battle was tailor-made for you.
Nice.
Lena can slow, Faris can blind, and the others can exploit Antolin's water weakness for an easy win. So take advantage of that, and you will be set to go. So that brings us to the ultimate. Here was my setup for the ultimate battle with the guardian tree lady who seems to be being attacked by demons and enjoying it. So Bartz with Life Siphon and Blazara Strike. Of course, I had a Super Soul Break for Bartz. Gilgamesh with Magic Lore, Lure in the Magic, and the Ice Jump. I just don't remember what those things are called, what any of the Dragoon's abilities are called. Creel with Firaja and Thundaja, the 2 4-star fire and lightning spells. Faris with Full Break and Magic Breakdown. Lena with Kuraja and Shelga and a shared Medica. And so I had each of the elements and a couple overlaps, but mostly one had a regular element, one had another attack to do. I think Creel was the only one that wasn't really doing anything in those off turns, because Gilgamesh could have a normal attack or magic lure. Bartz can Life Siphon. Obviously, Faris can full break, magic break. Lena can cure. So there were some turns that Creel couldn't do anything, and that's okay. My advice is be patient. Don't queue up too many attacks at once, because she can shift. Unless you're really good at timing, I think she does 3 turns in every phase. But unless you're really good with the timing, just wait, be patient, hit her when she changes, queue up your next attacks. Not too difficult. Again, I was able to do it with very low synergy, especially when it comes to my good relics. So that brings us to Leviathan. And unfortunately, you take a lot of damage in this fight, and my shared Medica was not necessarily up to the task of healing all of that needed to be healed. Now, if you have Lena's pretty much any of her soul breaks besides the soul break that I have, even the haste boost one, then you can use haste. It's kind of like she has like a mini shout, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. So you could bring that instead of shout. And bring Sentinel Grimoire or healing. But I brought shout to both of these. So instead of having to rely on that shared Medica, each of my main attacks, as you can see if you're watching on the Twitch stream, Bartz had Drain Strike, Gilgamesh had Drain Jump, Exdeath had Drain Aga. So All of my attackers were basically either doing the lightning attack or healing. So every time the water gathered, they go Blizzarga or Blizzarga, Thundaga Strike, Thundara Strike. Is that one? Yes. The 4 stars, Thundara Strike, the Thunder Strike or Thunder Jump, excuse me, for Gilgamesh, and then Thundaja for Exdeath. So I could hit them with lightning, 1, 2, 3. Or if he wasn't gathering water, I could heal. And then Ferris and Lena were just basically healing each other with Shell, Matcher Breakdown, and Full Break. So
you just need to make a self-sufficient party that can.
Yeah. But you can do that.
Take down the deluge.
Now,
nice.
In a normal Final Fantasy, just like a staple Final Fantasy V fight, Exdeath could have used his Darkness combo. Lord, if Gilgamesh had Dragoon, but even if Gilgamesh doesn't, he can use Saint's Cross.
Oh yeah.
They really forced us to use some very particular. Now, not only are we using Cid characters, right? So we only have 7 characters to choose from, but we have to bring 3 of those characters have to have lightning. We'll talk about that as one of our discussion topics, if that's just being jerks on Dina's part, or if that's really cool and makes you really think. You like strategy, so I thought you might have an opinion about that later. But that's how I did it. Be interested to hear how other people join us on Slack chat. There's lots of different opinions and lots of different ways to do that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Barrett's. He's talking about Empower Lightning there. So banners, huh? Banners.
Oh yeah. So we get to review both banners at once this week, since the event was timed so perfectly.
So good.
Let's start with a banner 1. Featured prominently is Ferris's Burst Soul Break, the Barrel Serpent, paired with the Artemis Bow. Let's just go over this Burst Soul Break real quick. Deal 5 ranged physical attacks to 1 target, and full break it, and grant haste and burst soul break to the user, etc., etc. It's pretty good. Good damage plus full break. It's always nice, especially for a support character. Then her burst abilities: Deluge, deal ranged physical damage to 1 target and temporarily lower its magic a large amount. Then Rough Tides is the same, except it lowers its attack. So perfect, whether you're dealing for a magic-based boss or a physical-based boss. And it's like a really good weapon.
It's a great support BSB, definitely.
Yeah, players who are just starting out and are looking to use that full break on as many bosses as they can, this would be a great weapon.
Yes, it would.
Yep. So moving on, we have Lena's Mace of Zeus, which gives her Pride of Tycoon. And just looking at the little icon, it looks like, is that a recreation of the beginning cutscene of 5?
Yeah, I've not seen it. I have not watched the video on that, so it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's major Medica with resistance boost, so it's pretty good. I still think that Magic Blink is better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Instead of reducing the attack, you're dodging it completely. But yeah.
But it's different. We've not had a lot of resistance Medicas, so
yeah. Tribute of Legend is old. Sanset's Skin is old. Godot's Whisker. All right, another soul break for Exdeath.
He needs lots of them.
Yeah.
Lots of regular
Shatter. This kind of works with his Dark Mage theme. Deal 3 magic dark attacks to 1 target and temporarily infuse the user with the power of darkness.
Yeah, that's nice. Power dark. Yeah.
Wait, what? Have we seen, trying to think, are there any bosses that are weak to the dark element?
In the game, yes, we've seen bosses weak to darkness. Yeah.
It's a rarity, but...
Yeah, no, but basically what this does is this makes Memento Mori Dark Zone even more powerful.
Yeah, because infusion, it's like same type
It
attack
boosts.
bonus.
Yeah, it boosts. It's like a damage boost. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
And wait, is this is not this is old
This is not new. No.
Megasaurod? Okay, so it's just those one, two, three new ones, but still really good ones too. Repentance is really good on Gilgamesh as well.
Yes. Yeah, and True Blade of Legend, which I have, is
like a defense buff on the party is really nice.
It's a nice DPS and boost to your defense. So
and with those 8 banners out of the way, we can now rate these banners independently.
Yes,
and I don't know, it's pretty good. I give this one like a 3.5. Probably like a 4 out of 5 because it has a full break. It's got a Medica. It's got really powerful weapons that most people can use. It's just like I don't know, if I like look at this at first glance, it's a really nice beginner banner, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I hear you. Mm-hmm. It's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's good mix.
Yeah, no, it's obviously good for Cid Missions. We are going to get another Final Fantasy V event not too long in the future, probably. So, and those banners are better. But
yeah,
and you still got some time. So, are you going to draw on either of these?
I'm going to draw on the first banner in just a sec. But
Okay.
I don't know. A point that I want to make about 5 is even though there are only 7 characters to pick from, none of them are inherently bad. Like even Gallops is good in his own right because like he has record spheres unlocked and he can use hammers as a monk, which makes it unique.
Yeah, he's probably the weakest, but if you have his soul breaks, I mean, he has some good soul breaks.
Oh yeah, like Fist of Dawn and Unshaken Resolve make him invulnerable. It's really good.
Yeah, no, right. So none of the characters are inherently bad.
It's not like, I don't know. I'm trying to think like if you're pulling on a 7 banner and you get like an item for Reno, it's like, oh geez.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So it's like everyone's good so far.
I will say I didn't mention when we were talking about the Cid missions. I was able to complete both Ultimate and Ultimate Plus Cid mission Final Fantasy V with level 65 characters.
Oh wow!
So I didn't have level 80 characters on any of my Final Fantasy V characters. Okay. So
sounds good. Yeah. All right. Now moving straight on to the second banner, we have Kurilu's Beast Killer with Unspoken Bond. Note that because it's a whip, it has a small chance to paralyze on hit. Does that chance only count for the physical attacks, or if you were to give her a record materia that's like Black Mage Awakening or Flower of Trabia, that account still carry over? I don't know.
That is a good question for our co-host who is currently not here. So
dang, dude. All right, I'll try and make a note.
Pierre, if you're listening, better be listening. Find that out for next week.
Because that'd be cool to be able to use magic attacks. Because obviously, because Krill is a black mage, that's kind of the stats you want to be focusing on. Anyway, Unspoken Bond. Right. Deal 8 summoning. Know that it's summoning type attacks. Summoning magic non-elemental attacks to 1 target and reduce the offensive magic casting time of all allies for 3 turns. So yeah, it gives your entire party enhanced cast. So that's nice. Also pretty good 8 attacks.
Yeah. I think it's your kind of your standard. I think Super Soul Break for magic, so it's pretty high multiplier.
Nice. Okay. Moving on, we have Gallop's Unshaken Resolve. This is what we were just talking about. Deal 4 physical attacks to 1 target. Remove all buffs and debuffs from the user, temporarily granting invulnerable and raising attack for a large amount. Has there been at all like, it's like pretty, what?
No, I just love Gallop's stuff.
Oh yeah, like making you invulnerable. It's pretty cool. We haven't seen much of like use for it. I don't know. I think it might just be like too slow for the meta, but maybe because this gives you an attack boost it might be good enough to warrant using. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's like the idea that I mean, it also works in conjunction with shout parties, I guess, since even though it's removing the haste, you're still getting the large attack boost while still making you invulnerable. I don't know. It's a cool fist. I have too many 5-star fists. That's just a problem for me right now. Okay, moving on. Genji Blade is old, but still really good. Like, it also has a small chance to paralyze. I forgot about that. But physical attacks to all targets and major regen. So it's really like Gilgamesh has some of the best toolboxes, especially because of the wide variety of abilities he can use. Also, his soul rakes match that variety. Okay, Yoichi's bow is old. Power staff is old. There are only 2 new relics on this banner.
Yep.
This is a tough one to rate because even though it's cool stuff, it just can't compare to the first banner.
No, I think the first banner's definitely better.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess 2.5 out of 5. Maybe if you're looking to get some of the more niche characters from the 5 realm, as opposed to just the standard Bart's, like, DPS. Because this does have Grand Cross, which is a really good runic soul break. So yeah, if you're looking for really unique strategies, go for this banner. I, however, am going to pull on the first banner right now. Come on, baby. Nope, 3-star. Moving on. We are moving.
Yeah, here, I'll make a pull on each of them. Let me try first. I'll do a 5 mithril here. Sorry, let me bring it up here. Here we go. Dr. Mog.
Please don't get anything good, dude.
Woohoo! Hey, why do you say that?
What did you get?
3-star.
Okay.
Let me try one on the other one. Oh, another 3-star. Look at that. How exciting. How exciting.
What is going on?
So it goes. All right. Well.
What do you got?
Those are my nothing. 3 stars. Those are the break banners, or the Final Fantasy V banners for the week. That brings us to Roundtable discussion.
Nice.
Where we talk about things in a round table, although I'm at a square table. I don't know what kind of table you're at, Ben.
I'm
like
just in front of a chair, which is in front of a piano. So I'm at a piano.
There you go. That's like a table.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Final Fantasy V Ultimates and a lot of the regular battles, a lot of the bonus battles, very gimmicky, and they forced you to use teams that weren't just physical in nature. You couldn't just bring your Shout A team and kind of do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I guess the question for topic and debate is, do you like when Dina forces us to bring mages or certain abilities, or is that more annoying than fun?
I love it. I mean, one could argue that if you're at kind of the mid-level of the game, that it's unfair for Dina to be pushing gimmicks while you're still getting like your bearings. But if we're in like the triple plus and ultimate fights, there's really no excuse, because it get boring every time you just shout and wall and beat it just by using your best abilities. I love to see him spice things up, and I think it's really interesting because like what they're working with the ATV battle, you'd think like, yeah, okay, there's only so many battles you could do, but they keep on doing cool new fights. Like the stuff that they pull out for the nightmares, like obviously it's like, and I'm speaking from the perspective of the content being released in Japan first is also original and amazing, and even though we're getting that months afterwards, it's still original and amazing for us. I think it's great that they're able to keep it fresh.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the nightmare dungeons have all been very cool. I think the gimmicks have been interesting. You know, I try to go into them without looking and seeing like what you need to do to try to figure it out. And this one was particularly frustrating because I couldn't figure it out for a while. If you were following us on Slack chat, yeah, you saw me trying to figure it out without looking. And yeah, it took me a while to figure it out, but I was able to do it. You know, I just wonder with like, so you already have to bring in a Cid mission team. You know, you don't have to. So, I mean, if there was no gimmick, you know, you could just bring your A team, and I get it. But, you know, isn't that Cid mission requirement? Isn't that kind of the way that makes you, you know, think outside the box and everything else? This kind of seems like two layers.
I mean, how much more thinking is there required on being like, oh, okay, let me just bring these characters that are in the realm, feed them some more eggs, and just give them the best equipment I have? Is that really? Because I think like what when you're playing a Final Fantasy game, like most of the fun is like like the menus and like figuring out like how am I going to beat this boss with the equipment and abilities I have. Do I level grind to get this new spell? Do I do this crazy side quest? And for them to kind of like, obviously it's not like Brave Exvius where you have a world map and you're able to do side quests. So they've had to kind of find new ways to keep the battles and preparation fresh. So I like, and you now are able to, you've always been able to, that was kind of a really ignorant statement. You look online and look at the forums and see how are people doing this fight, and you say, well, I don't have the exact relic setup that these people have. How do I kind of build my team as close as I can for victory? In a way, this is going to be kind of a far-fetched statement. In a way, it's kind of like deck building in a game like Hearthstone, where you see the top-level decks as a new player, and you're like, well, I don't have all the legendary cards, but how do I get like the feel of the deck? How do I get the feel of this party to beat this boss? You know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think it's, I mean, it definitely caused me to stop and think about what I was going to do and use some abilities that I don't normally use. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's
and I
that's
think
interesting.
Honestly, that's one of Final Fantasy Record Keeper's bigger strengths as a mobile game, is that it forces you to think at times. Like, yeah, it's no longer, it's not always, oh, I pulled these 5-star characters, let me put them in my party, let me hit the buttons at the right time, oh, I win because the numbers are higher. Like, it's no longer that, which I really enjoy. Right. It's like you're playing an actual video game. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Well, let us know what you people think on Slack chat and on Twitter and all of those things. Do you think these fights are annoying? Do you love them like Ben does? And look forward to new challenges, new forcing. And it is interesting, right, that, you know, the game exists in Japan. So, yeah, you can go and you can already see what's going to happen. But, you know, I try not to do that unless I, you know, I'm completely lost and have no idea what's going on. But, yeah, hey, another thing from Australian Derek asking about, I guess this kind of goes into Mailbag, your daily draws. Speaking of which, I'm not sure I've done mine. So do you still do your daily relic draw, your free relic draw?
Yeah, just because when I'm upgrading equipment, I'm like really neurotic about like how do I get this like closest to 0 EXP wasted, and it's normally those 1-star pieces of equipment that allow me to top them off. So I don't do them for the reason that you'd think. but I still every day get up, hit that daily relic draw. The highest I've gotten, I think, was a 4-star once. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I spend?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, Derek wanted to know if they got rid of, would it be better if they got rid of 1-star, 2-star, and 5-star from that pull, and you basically only got 3-star and 4-star for realm synergy and everything else? I think that might be interesting. But have you ever got have you ever got a 5-star relic from that?
No.
From that pull?
No.
Yeah, I've seen or heard of some people doing that. So, but
it's a rare occurrence. I don't know. I think it's kind of important for like early players to just like do it to fill all the equipment slots, if that makes sense. Because like when you're starting off, you get those core classes, and you have no equipment other than what drops in the core dungeons. So just to fill it out, I think it's a nice gesture. Yeah, where's the 1-star equipment challenges on all these ultimates? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, right.
You get the plain clothes. You just go in there and be free. Easy as
I lost all of my sold all of my 1-stars.
I'm stupid. Oh my god, I'm so You guys, you can leave the chat up. That's just my friends.
Oh.
Those are my friends saying Slumpo. Oh my god. I didn't think they'd actually do it. Screw you guys.
Thank you for letting us know that, Ben.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention to the chat.
Obviously. Yes, for those listening online, we're trying to deal with apparently...
You thought I hate you so bad. Oh my god. Alright, let's move on. What were we talking about?
Moving on.
I think
another mailbag from Matt.
I think you guys were talking about daily relic draws.
What are you doing
here? What are you doing here?
I thought I got rid of you.
You did, then Slumpo brought me back.
Shit, dude. Don't ever say that again.
Pierre leaves for 3 seconds and the whole podcast goes to hell.
God. That's it. Never giving you the keys to my car again, Ben. You're too young to drive.
God, dude.
Never leaving again.
So, what'd I miss?
Not much. We just went over the 5 event and the Nightmare Ultimate. You know, the usual.
I've been listening for a few minutes. You guys have been doing a heck of a job, by the way.
Thanks. All right. So let's move on.
We do have a message from Matt, and he asks, how well are regular soul breaks going to thrive in this increasingly meta of super soul break and burst soul break, and as we know, eventually overflow soul breaks in the game? So, how are regular soul breaks faring? And his follow-up question is, what are the best regular soul breaks?
I mean, the best regular soul breaks are the walls. That's not a question. But I think
Stone Skin too.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to have the soul breaks in there, just like fill it, because if they made every single relic a super soul break, there'd be no reason not to draw on them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
by regular soul break, does he mean like default soul breaks that each character has, or you mean like the unique ones?
No, I think it means
regular unique soul break.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you're asking for the default one, my counter question would be, why are you using them at all?
Nice. So I feel like Dana has made them over time to fit more niche roles. We've came a long way from Braver on Cloud's Buster Sword, but now we have cool stuff like just looking at the banners that we have now. We have Godot's Whisker, which has End Darkness and stuff like that, where it's no longer just dealing damage or like casting Protect on all allies. It's like unique stuff that fits in with a character's innate abilities to just like capitalize on what they're good at. And they don't have to be super ultra flashy soul breaks, super soul breaks rather. They could just get the job done.
Well, and for Cid missions especially, I mean, the Final Fantasy IV, we just got Dark Knight Cecil's Boosta, so that boosts the entire party's attack, so that was really helpful. If you're in Final Fantasy 13 coming up, Boon is a normal soul break. Zaz's normal soul break gives you Shellgun Heistaga. So Lunatic High, very similar. So all those are great soul breaks, and there's a lot of great regular soul breaks. It just depends on what you're looking for. Yeah, if you're using I have Terra's Enhancer and it does, 1 AoE fire attack. Okay, yeah, that's been outdated. And that's going to really be outdated by Chainaga here, the Chainaga spells. But, other than that, anything that gives utility, anything that gives support, anything that boosts most of the support, regular soul breaks, Irving's Canister Shot, any of Waka's, any of Ferris's. I mean, they're all useful. Any of the break ones are fairly useful. So, if we have to rate them.
Grand Cross has saved my bot more than once, and it's you had a good point when you were saying that it really brings maybe more of a niche support. That maybe because when you think Super Soul Breaks, you think about I'm just gonna kill that boss and get rid of him and do super lot of damage, but usually Overflow Soul Breaks and Super Soul Breaks, their target won't be to generally won't be to give anything to your party. That's where the regular or unique soul breaks usually fill a spot, and a lot of the ones that we all use daily, coming back to Shout, Citadel Grimoire, or like I was saying, Grand Cross and all of that, we couldn't do without them, so I don't think they're going anywhere, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Matt. Hope that helps your questions, and hope you have some regular soul breaks that you still use. We probably all have a few that we'll never use again, but you never know with Cid missions and with special challenges and with unique bosses. So Australian Derek has given us all of the news from Japan.
Nice.
I'm not sure I'm going to read everything, Derek. I'm sorry. But here's the big news, and I can say I can concur here because I've been following Slack chat. The big news is multiplayer. Everybody loses your mind. Yeah, there's like 7,000 messages a day on Slack chat in the Japan game channel about multiplayer. So I think people are having a lot of fun with multiplayer, and I think it's a big challenge, and people are figuring out how can I do it, fighting some cool big bosses. So, multiplayer has officially launched. If you join Slack chat FFRK_JP, you can go in and find some people and multiplayer if you play on the Japanese game. There's Abyssa Dungeons open with another 6-star summoning ability. There's Nightmare Dungeons. There's a Final Fantasy XIV event. And apparently those banners on the Final Fantasy XIV event are crazy. And I looked at some of them. Some of them are like ridiculously overpowered. I think Yoshatala, whatever her name is, has a crazy burst soul break ability.
Oh yeah.
Then there's a Final Fantasy 13 event, and I think they're going to start another event. So they're going to have. So people are complaining about People are complaining about there's not enough going on. Well, apparently there's like 17 things going on in Japan. Although if you look at global, we've got Nightmare Dungeons, we got Mote Dungeons, we got one event. We're going to have another event open here. We've had double greens. So there's a lot of events going on here. In global, yeah. There's obviously a lot of... A lot also going on in Japan. So thank you, Derek. And if you want to check out anything else, Lightning's OSB has just been introduced, so you can go look at that, or if somebody on Slack has it, you can check that out and enjoy that. And,
I will post,
you have it?
I will post Derek's complete news from Japan on the FFRK Central website, because Derek does such an upstanding job at collecting all of that data, and really it would be kind of a podcast of its own, so we can't give it proper justice here, but just keep an eye out on ffrkcentral.com, and I'll have his Japan news of the week on the site probably tonight, and that's Wednesday. So
great.
Derek, I hope that's okay with you. I'll give you credit, I promise.
Well, if I wasn't distracted with ongoing hijinks and trolling on the chat, then maybe our podcast would have been a little shorter and we could have gotten into it a little bit.
Come on, dude. We went over this. We got to keep it under an hour, just like last week.
Well, I think we're already at 90 minutes, so.
You're already at about... I would say an hour 15, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Super. So that brings us to some closing Final Fantasy news. If you don't know, Final Fantasy Mobius, it's Mobius Final Fantasy, was officially released globally today and launched. They released it early and then launched it a little bit later. And that is the newest Final Fantasy episodic mobile gaming experience. Wow. And it's an experience that I have no idea what's happening with my dude, my warrior of light. He is... I've just hit like auto, and he seems to do all these cool things, and I'm like, awesome guy. You go do your thing.
You're playing Final Fantasy 13?
Basically, it's like Final Fantasy 13. No. It is pretty. I mean, it's pretty, and maybe it will be interesting. Garland is there. Mog is there. I think Sarah shows up.
Oh, is it
so
true
it's
that
a very
they gave a
Final
girl
Fantasy
voice
1.
to Mog?
Yes, Mog has a feminine, I would say more like a childlike voice.
No, yeah, Mog has that kind of voice in 13-2. It's a mascot character. What are you gonna do?
Oh, I know.
So
this is a Mog.
A Moogle type voice, I would say, appropriate to a Moogle, as opposed to a Muggle in Harry Potter news. So, which also something in the Harry Potter world this week happens. So, keep up on our Harry Potter podcast.
Yeah.
HarryPotterCentral.com.
No, don't go to that site.
It's probably not safe for work.
Download Motes and see what you think. It's different than Final Fantasy Xvius. It's different than Final Fantasy Record Keeper. So, nice. It's completely different. So if you don't like either of these games, you're probably not listening to this podcast. But maybe it's the game for you. I've already deleted. I finally deleted Xvius. I was done with it.
Done.
Yeah, just. I already lost interest in it. So I got my van from 3-star to 5-star, and then I'm like, I don't even care. I hate van. So why am I playing this game? Let me go catch some Pokemon. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, I got some greens. If you're looking on the stream with my 2% battery life.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, are you trying to rush to 0%?
I'm not really sure why my battery is not charging very well. So I'm not sure what's running that's eating the battery life so bad. Maybe
FFRK does
Fantasy.
that.
Maybe Final Fantasy Mobius is in the background sucking up my battery life. Thanks, Final Fantasy. Square. Nice. I don't know. Anyway, that usually doesn't happen when it's plugged in. So
it doesn't seem to be plugged in at all.
It is.
Well, it's not aware of that.
It's got the little whatchamacallit. Well, it has to be plugged in because it's hooked up to my computer.
Yeah, but you're using AirPlay, aren't you?
Yeah.
You don't need to have it plugged in.
Well, there you go. This is true. Yeah, no, it's
magic.
Yeah, it is magic. Yeah, I have no idea. I think yep, there I'm done.
All right, and with Mark's battery life, we're gonna close off this episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeah, thanks everybody.
Until next week.
Bye. Oh wait, no, where do we find us?
Okay.
Where are we?
You guys don't want me to do my bit or anything?
Excuse me?
You guys want me to do my my little ending bit or something?
Yeah, no, we forgot to find. Yes. Tell us how to contact us.
Where am I?
All right, guys. So that's going to be our show for this week. If you have any questions, comments, or what was that? It was Slumpo feedback or anything. You can email us. You can email us at ffrkcentral@gmail.com. My name's Pierre. I wasn't there for this episode, but if for some any reason you want to reach out, you can reach me on Slack chat at Pierre.
All your fangirls are going to contact you and be upset that you weren't here.
Or on Twitter at ffrkcentral. Ben can be reached out at...
You can never reach me ever again. I'm out at etank88.
On Twitter, because Ben doesn't like
I'm locked in my
chat.
account, dude. No one's getting in.
Mark can be reached out at
Rev Mark Myers. You can check me out at YouTube FFRK Basics, on Slack chat at RevHP.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please take a few minutes to leave 5-star review. They're always help. They're always super appreciated. And we record every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you are not one of Ben's friends, you're more than welcome to join us live as we do it.
True.
Other than that, we'll see you next week on the podcast. So thank you for being there. Enjoy the game and talk to you next week.